Hey, good morning, everybody. So let's just start it off. Everybody had a good weekend. That's great. Let's get back to trading. Today's Tuesday. We have a shortened week. Understand that the way Friday ended, it was an inside bar day. What does that tell you? It means that they're indecisive as far as the direction of the market to start out on Tuesday. Give you your bear case scenario. Bear case scenario is there was a lot of major big tech selling on Friday. Apple, I saw some people, Google, Meta. I played Apple. I'm going to talk about how I traded Apple and hopefully give you guys some insight on how to look for a proper trade. With that said, you could also be a bull. Why? They've been buying the dips every time the market gaps down. It's quickly bought up. We've seen very few days with downward pressure, although we're in recession, although there's a war going on, although there's hostilities with China, although there's hostilities with the Saudis and dealing with oil. So again, inside bar on Friday tells me, doesn't mean it's going to happen today, but we're probably going to have some type of fumes, going around like a volcano. We're either going to erupt upward or erupt downward. So again, me without emotion, I'm on the sidelines with some of my trades, and I'll be watching to see how the market plays out. What do we got going on this week? A ton of Fed speakers going on. So we have Williams on Tuesday, 11:45. Powell is going to testify tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Jefferson tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Goulby's 11:40 on Wednesday. Waller Thursday, 4 a.m. Crazy early. Powell testimony again on Thursday at 10 a.m. So again, I'm expecting some choppiness this week. What else do we have going on? Key important economic data. Housing starts data. We'll have that on Tuesday morning. Again, we talked about Powell speaking. Existing home sales Thursday. Jobless claims Thursday. Manufacturing PMI data Friday. Again, the blackout period for Fed speakers is officially over. So we have the odds of a 25 basis point rate hike for July now is up to 74%. So 74% of the people, they're telling us, all right, let's skip that. Let's just get into how I traded on Friday and see if I can help you guys out a little. Again, on Friday, I was focused on Apple puts, the 185 puts. They were expiring Friday. Why did I put up this chart? Because it's important, and let me just get there to show you guys all the opportunity. Again, these opened up at like 11 cents. So these opened up down here. They shot all the way up to about $66 per contract, okay? If you're not trading and you're on the sidelines like me, and I'm watching the Apple puts as the market gets bought up, I'm watching to see the bottom. Now, I already knew the bottom was $11 right in here. So when I saw a $10 move right in here, $10 or $9, I could buy them for. I bought these Apple puts. They rode up to $22. I sold at $21. They went down to $12 again. They went back up to $21 again. So again, my strategy on Apple for Friday was that there was going to be a bearish sell-off, that the market, if it was going to fly, it would have gone north and accelerated at an accelerated pace north, and we would see, new levels of high, not the SPY going from 443 down to 439. So that already told me there was downward pressure. So I'll know, although they're buying Apple, again, I'm looking for the base. So I got in at $10. I got out at $21. I got in at $15. I got out at $22. And I got in a third time for those Apple calls at $15, at $12. It went all the way down to $4, all the way down to $4 per contract. So you all thinking about on the sidelines, how do I make one good trade? Well, these contracts that I was in went down to $4 before, again, going up to $29 or $30 at 3 p.m. So let's just say $5 to $30. That's a 500% return. So everybody's talking about returns for the week. Oh, I need to crush it. Oh, I need to do this. If you just waited, you could have waited all week till Friday. You could have waited for this point right here, $10 to 22 cents, right? $10 to 22, 120%. You could have waited for the $4 number, $4 all the way up to $16. You could have waited for 300%. You could have waited for $6 up to $30, 500%. Again, it's about making a successful trade or successfully trading for the week, not being an active trader. Now, I made a post over the weekend. There are many ways to trade, okay? You could scalp. Scalp means I'm going in and out of a trade very quickly. I see Apple at 185. I think Apple's going to 184. I scalp some puts, meaning I get into some puts. Now, it doesn't mean I have to get in the money. Doesn't mean I have to go out of the money. It means I can afford whatever the contracts I'm looking to buy. So I go out till Friday and I say, okay, the 185 puts, or I can't afford them because they're $3. So let me go down the puts, the $180 puts for 85 cents. I can afford those. Great. So I get in those $85 contracts, right? Apple goes down the $1 that I'm looking for it to go down. My contracts go from $84 all the way up to $114. So I'm in for about 36% profit. Boom, I'm out. I'm in, I'm out. That is a scalp, a swing trade. A swing trade is like what I did with my Google options. Okay, I'm in some Google puts. I expected Google to fall over the weekend. So what do? I could get in my puts 3:30, 3:50 p.m. on Friday. Pay, let's just see what I did pay. Let's give you an accurate assessment of what's going on. Paid $42 all the way down to, it went down to $36. So again, I was early by $6. I was early by 15%. Where did these close at? $50. So again, if I'm in at 42, closed at 50, I'm up 20%. But the swing trade is that I expected Google to gap down over the weekend. I actually expected the markets all to open up red. They're being bought up pre-market. So we'll get into that and what's likely to happen today, being Tuesday, the first trading day of the week. But the point is my swing trade. So if I'm in at 42 cents per contract and I want to make 50% on these contracts, I'm going to set my exit at $63. In at 42, out at 63. Could it run more north? Sure. Could it pull back and turn red? Sure. So what do? I properly plan. I say I'm in at 42. I want to make 50%. 63 is my exit. I will get out. I will be on the sidelines and I'll identify with myself what I want to do for my next trade. But let's talk about what's happened on Tuesdays in the past, Mondays and Tuesdays. Let's go back now 5 full weeks. 5 full weeks. We'll go back to Monday, which is the first full day of trading. We've had a narrow 3-point range on the SPY. So I mentioned we had an inside bar on the SPY closing out Friday. Lots of indecision. Market going to go higher or lower? Undecided. Okay, so what do I look for? I say to myself, I think there'll be a 3 to 3.5 point range on the SPY today. So let's just get to the SPY and see where we're at real quick. SPY is sitting pre-market 438. Okay, so it's sitting at 438. I say, okay, if we go to the top side, and what might I do? I might look at the dark pool levels. So again, I'll bring up Discord. I will go to, not my room, but I'll go to the options, the flows and algos. I'll go down here, type it out. Let's look at the dark pool levels for the SPY and see what we got here. Okay, here we go. Somebody actually looked right before me. So we close at 439.46, okay? Very important. Why? Because look at the dark pool level, 439.50. Okay, so we close right on a dark pool level. It's not a shock when we see that all the freaking time. So understand, if the market gets bought up, where would I look for it to reject? Well, the next level higher is 442.43. So I'm going to say about $3 higher, okay? 439.50, 442.43, about $3. I don't think we get to this level. I don't think we get to this level today. So I'm really going to look for what the top is. If the top ends up being 441, and I say to myself, and I say to you all, the last 4 or 5 Mondays, we've seen a 3 to 3.5 point range on the SPY. And I tell you, the top is 441. Again, I'm giving you a hypothetical situation, a guess. But as you're watching the market, you see it top out right at 441. It goes to 440.80, kind of rejects. 440.90, kind of rejects. You say to yourself, 441 is the rejection level. Where could we possibly see the SPY go down to? Because if we're rejecting the top, and I'm telling you it's going to be a 3-point range, even on an inside day, and we'll say a double inside day, we go down to 438. What does that tell you? It tells you at the top you can buy puts, okay, depending on your strategy. The only suggestion I would make to everybody is don't change your strategy. If you're a buy the dip kind of person mentality, and you see NVIDIA drop, or you see AMD drop, or Palantir drop, or AI drop, whatever you're looking to buy, Apple, Microsoft, Carnival Cruise Lines, right? It's been ripping for days. If you see it drop and you're buy the dip kind of mentality, then you're buying calls when you see it bottom, when you see it find support, when you see the market, let's say the market dips to 438 and finds support. At the same time, Amazon, Microsoft, Carnival, they're all going to find support around the same edge. Or You could be like me. You could be a pessimist. You could be a bear. You could say I'm selling the spikes. So on the spikes, I'm buying puts, assuming the market's going to go down. Again, I saw big tech outflows on Friday for Apple, for Microsoft, for Amazon, for Meta, for Google, which I'm in. So again, if I'm saying that big tech is going to sell off and people are going to take profits on big tech, then I'm going to look for a spike. I'm going to make sure it rejects first. When I see rejection, the first stocks I'm going to look for are Google and Apple, or even a Meta. Why? Because Meta was off 1.28% pre-market. Now when I look at Meta, okay, and I know that's the pre-market range, but when I look at Meta pre-market, let's just see where Meta is. See if it's green yet. 281. Okay, so it's off 0.89%. Now, what just happened? Bad example, but it just totally gave away some of its percentage points. It was basically at a whole dollar higher. I guess they'll be buying it, maybe back up. But the point is, I saw Meta drop down to 277. So that's on my range. Now, if I look at Meta and I say the high on Friday was 287 and the low was 280, and we're already at 278, so we're below Friday's low, it tells me it has more room to drop down. So again, just, the way I play it, again, I'm going to be looking for the top. I'm going to be buying puts. If you have the different mentality, you could be looking for the bottom, looking for support, and buying calls. Again, there are multiple ways to trade. I mentioned scalp trading. I mentioned swing trading. Swing trading is when I want to enter into a position overnight. Let's say I don't have any day trades to use. I will likely get into a swing trade towards the end of the day. If I'm looking for something to go up or down and it's noon or 12 o'clock and it's in the middle of its range, it's in no man's land. So I want to see it bottom if I'm going to get into calls. I want to see it peak out and start to sell off or come over a little if I'm going to get into puts. So that's just a common strategy right there. Again, you could do call spreads, put spreads, other things of that nature. Let me just see what else. We have some earnings coming out this week. Nothing major until Tuesday after the bell. We've got FedEx. We've got Lazy Boy, Winnebago, which is a stock that I used to trade Wednesday morning before the bell. KB Home after the bell. Steel Clays, they do office furniture. That'll be interesting because we've heard that offices have a ton of vacancies. So I'm wondering, I would have to think Steelcase would have a harder time. Thursday, Accenture, accounting firm. FactSet, pretty cool company. Beyond Air, don't really follow them. And then CarMax for Friday. And again, CarMax might have influence over Carvana and a couple other different companies. All right, so let's speak about some other news that could definitely affect the stock market and some stocks today. I'm just going to go to my watch list. Top of my watch list, I've got Alibaba. Why? Because it was either the CEO or CFO basically just quit. Let's see. Alibaba is replacing chairman and CEO Daniel Zhang. Okay. So understand, Alibaba recently said they're going to break up the company and go in 6 different directions. The CEO and chairman is now being replaced. That's never positive. It's a positive when you have a company that doesn't have a chairman and then they all of a sudden they find a chairman and it's someone that you like Lee Iacocca or Carl Icahn or somebody like that you think will actually inherently move the company higher. Until Alibaba reports who their new chairman is and what his relationship is with the government and with the company and with others and with Jack Ma, I would be hesitant to get into a company like Alibaba. Next, I've got Manchester United. Why? Because we've all heard the rumors that Qatar, Saudis, they're talking to Man U about a personal buyout. I've heard $6 billion is on the table. If the number is $6 billion and the market cap of the company currently is under $4 billion, that means the stock could technically go from $23 all the way to $35 or $36 if there is an actual offer. If there's an offer and it's a public offer and it's $6 billion, you're going to see Man U fly. Will it go all the way up to 35 or 36? No, but will it get a nice spike? Yes. So that'll get me in and out. Again, I went out to the 3rd week in July because if it doesn't happen by the 3rd week in July, it's probably not going to happen. Next, I already mentioned I'm in Alphabet or Google puts. Again, I think Google is going to go down. Here's what I saw on Friday. Okay, what do you see? Huge outflow, huge volume. So for about a week straight, let's see, 4, 7, 9 out of the past 12 days have been inflow, yet Google's lower. So 9 out of 12 days, 75%, they're buying Google, yet Google keeps dropping. So I said to myself, what's going to happen when they actually sell Google? Again, there was an institution buying into Google. It really should have dropped, in my opinion, a little more. I'm looking for 121 as an exit strategy, something to that extent. So let's talk about the SPY. Again, You're seeing the SPY. You finally had an outflow day. They tend to run together. So I say to myself, if you have another outflow day, if you have some decent volume, let's look at the 5-day. We can definitely go back right to the 434 range. So again, my bear case scenario, and I'll give you both scenarios. My bear case scenario is we see 434.50 today, $434.50. Because I said we're only going to see a 3.5 point range, I would add 3.5 point range to 434.50 and get out 438 and see where we're trading pre-market. We're right at the 438 cusp. So if I see downward pressure and I don't see any buying in the market, my bear case scenario, my exit strategy for all of my negative bearish positions would be when the SPY hits $435.50. Then I can look at the dark pool level and ask myself, does it match up with the dark pool level? So I'd go right over here and I'd be like, okay, 436.50. So I said 434.50. So I guess 436.50 might be looking for a bounce. So I might change my strategy and I write it down and I'll say 436.50, 438, 441 is my range. So again, as we hit each of those levels, I know whether we're going to see support, market's going to go higher, or we see rejection and market goes lower. Okay, so again, bear case scenario, again, I'm looking for 434.50. Bull case scenario, where did we ride up to last week? Well, we can just go back to Friday's day and go 443.61. So again, if you want to be a bull, you're definitely looking to attack Friday's high of the day. Me, I saw some massive outflows in big tech, so I'm going to be focused on Tesla, Meta, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Apple, to see if there's downward pressure, to see if there's selling pressure, profit-taking pressure. NVIDIA, I want to stay away. Why? Because I think NVIDIA is overvalued, but if NVIDIA at 400 or 440 or even 460, does it make much of a difference to the valuation? No, those individuals buying NVIDIA at 400 think it's going to 500. Those individuals buying at 420 think it's going to 500, possibly higher. Same with Tesla. Somebody's asking about Tesla puts. If you're looking at Tesla, you really got to analyze the flow of Tesla. Okay, it's very dangerous to jump in Tesla without analyzing the flow. So I might do something like this. TR, let's look at the net flow for Tesla, and maybe we'll go out 7 days, something to that extent. Okay, that won't work. So TR, net flow, Tesla 5. Oh, I don't know if I hit enter. Did I hit enter? See if that works. And then you want to look at the dark pool for Tesla, dark pool levels for Tesla. I guess that TS, that flow isn't working. All right, sometimes there are delays. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we got both of them up. So let's see what we got here. All right, so here's your net flow, 5-day net flow of Tesla. Okay, so we're looking to see if puts are increasing, calls are increasing. I mean, this is still pretty darn bearish, even with the price here. Even if there's a pullback, I would need to see the premiums on puts spike up, maybe to 30 million. I want to see the call premiums drop down. Maybe there's some type of crossover. That would tell me I can get a little bearish. We've seen little bearish pieces right here. But again, the massive flow on Tesla is still bullish. So I don't want to fight Tesla. If I'm looking to fight a company, I want to find some company that can easily go down. The market changes its direction. I want to find a company that people will say, okay, well, this one popped a little too hard. Let's sell off. Let's take profits. Again, I mentioned some AI companies that could potentially happen to. Looking at Tesla, where we are already 260. So I want to see the dark pool levels. Dark pool levels go up about every $10. So the fact that we're sitting at 259, we're probably sitting positive this morning on Tesla. Let's just look at it. It's 261 and change, 261.82. I know that the next level higher is probably 268. So if I'm a Tesla bull, I'm going to look for it to ride up to 268 before I'm going to sell. Again, I'm going to look for an 8 positive point return today, 3.5%, something like that. On the other hand, if I want to go negative something, if I want to go against something that is an EV company, I might look at somebody like NIO. Remember I mentioned NIO after earnings? NIO's earnings were shit. NIO's deliveries were shit. NIO bounced from $7.80 all the way past $9. I don't even know how I have NIO here. It should be right on my list right here. It's off 3% this morning. Again, just looking at the flow. Whereas Tesla had all those positive inflow days. They're just buying. NEO had its earnings right here. It bounced higher since earnings from what, $7.70 all the way past $10. It was $10.21 on Friday, closed at $9.40. So it closed off what? It was 10% higher, $10.20, $9.40, 80-cent difference. It's an 8% from the top on Friday. Where would I expect? I would expect that flow to continue. So we're at 8%. Here's the 5-day flow. Where could we see it? Well, we can see it drop all the way down to these levels right here, which is about $8.48. So I think if NEO is going to give back some, it can fall another 8-9% in the early time days of this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So whereas Tesla might be positive, NEO, I would look for it to be negative. You could play both sides. You could play one or the other. If the market is choppy, I'd rather be on, again, either one makes sense, a NEO put or a Tesla call. Why? Because they're buying Tesla even in a choppy market, and they're obviously selling NEO after those shit-tasting earnings. Again, we had other companies that had shit-tasting earnings recently. Okay, let's bring up Coinbase because I'm in some Coinbase puts, and I might have to take the loss on that one. Why? Because BlackRock came out over, last week and said they're going to try and get the SEC to approve a new Bitcoin ETF. Fidelity over the weekend said the same thing. BlackRock said if they do get approved, they're going to keep their deposits, their Bitcoin deposits in Coinbase, which will obviously be good business for Coinbase. Again, I think Coinbase is a piece of shit company, that it's definitely overvalued at $13 billion, that they're going to be hit with fines of $5 to $6 billion in the next few months when the court cases settle. So maybe I'm early on Coinbase. But again, if there's interest in two new Bitcoin ETFs, what's going to happen to Bitcoin supply demand? It'll go up. I believe the half-life of Bitcoin is going to be halved in August of 2024. So we still have another year for that, which will put some more upward pressure. So again, it might be a little early. What else am I looking at today? We can look at Uber, not so much. Palantir, which was down 3.5% pre-market, is only down 1.47%. Same with NVIDIA, AMD, all those companies. So again, I'm going to see how the market plays out. But if I see downward pressure and I think the market is going, the SPY is going to 436, 435, then I think Palantir is probably going under 16 again. We're sitting at 1606 right now. I could definitely see if I look at the 1-month chart and I've seen outflow. Again, here's your 1-month chart. So you can see about the last week, they've been outflow, selling it. It's been going higher. Again, it's been riding the coattails of AMD, NVIDIA, and the like. Micron. With that said, that's about it for today. I'm going to head over to Discord. I'm going to talk about the energy sector because I have a severe or pretty interested in XLE. I've been looking at Zoom, Shopify, and DDOG. So I'm going to talk about these 4 stocks in my pre-market video on Discord. You guys are more than welcome to join me over there. Please thumbs up if you like what I do. Hit the subscribe. If you have questions, please ask. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great day trading. Again, shortened week. See everybody.